Hey guys, welcome back to another Mindset Explosion, Season 3. I think I'm on episode 17. But joined today by a good friend, David Rogers from Rising Crane. Go on,
Hey,
David, you introduce yourself. Rising Crane.
Nice to be back with you.
Yeah, exactly. That was about a year ago, wasn't it? I come down to yours.
More than that.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, yes, you're right. So today we talk a bit about mindset, martial arts, and some of the great projects you got yourself. You're working on at the moment. So Tai Chi and Kung Fu, yeah.
That's right, Tai Chi and Kung Fu online programs, yeah.
Yeah, and so how have you found this? Like, how has lockdown affected you? And
it's given me a good opportunity to really knuckle down with my training and really super focus in on my own practice. Kind of forced isolation, which is, if your mindset is right, it can be a good thing, right? Because it's almost like a retreat where you're just really concentrating for a while on something and going very deeply into it. So it's, in some ways, it's kind of an enforced practice, but it can be quite good.
And you've been staying at your academy, haven't you?
I am living at the academy, yeah. So I'm just training full time pretty much at the moment. Yeah.
But no, I've been loved watching the content you've been putting out because how long you've been Kung Fu's
online?
Generally training. You started in China, right?
That's right. I've been practicing for 35 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So started when I was 14. So went to China when I was 20. Go back regularly with my teacher. Yeah,
you got a good relationship with your Sifu, right?
I'm lucky. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, no, that's good. So you and then you also did some MMA at your academy, which you've moved away from now, I guess. But how was that before?
Well, we had a good amateur fight team, which we started in Chinese kickboxing, the Sanchao, and then gradually over the time period, because MMA became more popular, and also that I absorbed some of the grappling stuff in from cross training with in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and other things. So our fight team gradually became more well-rounded, and then we started competing in MMA competitions, which we did for about 3 years as an amateur team. We won some national titles, so we did pretty well. Yeah,
awesome. So how do you think, because obviously you talked about mindset, and so you've been pretty much living in your academy, during this time. We want to talk about some of the projects you've been working on, and these are projects you were pretty much ready to go before there was any outbreak as well, right?
I've had these in the pipeline for about a year. It wasn't a reaction to the coronavirus. It was something that I was making my way towards already when this happened. It just kind of accelerated it a bit.
Yeah. So how do you feel like martial arts has helped you then, through this period of isolation and being there on your own or whatever? Did you just focus on your training? How did it work for you?
Martial art has given me that kind of, I suppose, direction and the mindset of not trying to fight against what's happening. It's happening. We've got no control over it, so make the best of it and do what we can with it. And I think martial art gives you that sort of idea of always coming, butting heads with what we want to happen as opposed to what is actually happening, and trying to make that choice of saying, right, we can accept this, and then something we can do something positive about it. We can choose to use this time either positively or negatively, and you see people tend to be polarized one extreme or the other.
Yeah, definitely. You're absolutely right. you just can't control some things, but how you deal with it, right?
But how you deal with it, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, of course, it's been, how long has it been now? 12, 13 weeks. So it's impossible to keep that kind of complete discipline practice non-stop, continuously for 12, 13 weeks. I think that's not achievable, and that's not even a good thing, not even a healthy thing. You need to cut yourself some slack as well, give yourself some rest days and deload and so on, because I think sometimes people put a lot of pressure on themselves to try to do something, which, yeah, you can do that for, 6 to 8 weeks or sort of typical fight camp, that kind of training time. But as it goes on and on and on, you need to factor in rest periods and more intensive days, less intensive days, and so on. And some days you need to rest.
So do you balance? Oh yeah, definitely. So with your training, like how do you kind of balance it out with your like how do you work it with your kung fu and your tai chi? Do you like have a do you do both on one day, or like how does it work for you?
There's a point where the line blurs. Really, it's very hard to say what you're practicing. By that I mean the tai chi becomes more internal power becomes more kind of manifest as you've been practicing longer, and then kung fu tends to soften out as well, so that you reach a balance point. So I mean, for beginners they're very different, and then as you progress they become more and more similar, I would say. And so it's not so much about you practicing kung fu one day or tai chi one day. It's more about what specifically you're working on. So for example, things like joint mobility, breathing exercise, qigong, will be a daily practice. Meditation, a daily practice. But some of the more like strength training and so on, and some the very more explosive and the more kind of energetic practice, especially as I'm not 20 anymore, so that your body needs to recover from that. So yeah, you can practice every day, but not every day is going to be like full on power training. So I think it's good as you get older to carry on doing strength training, because you lose muscle. So you need to make sure you're lifting some heavy stuff or doing some kind of strength-based stuff 2-3 times a week. But that's certainly not something that I'm doing all the time. Like say when I was 20 in China, I was training 8 or 9 hours a day, and that was hard training. I think these days I'm much more minimalist in terms of I put more rest in, and also I train. Even my intensive training, I have a better idea about how to periodize it, and things like how hard to train and then how long to break in between sets and this kind of thing, which is over the last few years I've made much more of a study about that. So more about training smart now than training hard. Yeah,
it makes sense. Well, that rolls into pretty much even our work, right? Just everyday life, work smart.
Yeah, I think people think it's all about just putting effort in, and some people put a lot of effort in but put it in the wrong place. I mean, you can butt your head against the wall for a long time, and you might be putting a lot of effort in, but it's not really getting much results. So, I mean, the bottom line is if you can get twice the result with half the effort, and that's a good thing in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So before lockdown, I remember talking to you last year, a couple of years. I think you were thinking about you were going to go back to China, wasn't you? And
I'm going to go back to China to train with my teacher for a period of time. Yeah,
real life kung fu, like the TV series, and just travel around. And I thought it was cool, man.
I like that. I mean, my idea was to go nomad for a while and sell up and just travel and teach for a time period. It's not my intention to live in China permanently.
No.
Just to go and study with my teacher for a while and then bring that knowledge back to my students. And obviously I'll be teaching some of my online classes will be coming from China, which would be a nice thing. People can see what's going on in how they train in China, and that'll have the advantage of me being able to, give the lessons in English, but people will see it in China. So I think that would be quite a good thing for people to see.
But is it Cantonese you speak as well, David? Or
Cantonese, yeah.
Yeah. So when I can't remember when we met. It must be about 5 years ago now. But whenever you just seem so respected by everyone, but you're very humble with it, I'd say. So I think it'd be it'd be wicked to get around and catch up some of these the contacts we made when we were on the various courses and stuff like that. And I just always got the impression you kind of very open-minded, but you'll test it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, okay. I've always got
I try to keep open-minded because there's so much good stuff out there, and as you know, there's so much bad stuff out there as well. So you have to have, you can't just accept everything, because you need to have some kind of a way of testing things. So yeah, for us, MMA and that kind of thing it's not so much that I'm into the sport or the culture of MMA. Rather, it was the best way out there of really testing the stuff that we were training, because you can go put it into realistic scenario and test and see what works. So from the scientific testing point of view, MMA is a good thing because it enables you to weed out some of the less functional stuff. But at the same time, though, I think there's a lot of traditional stuff is going to start coming back into MMA because I think people are now reaching a level, the athletes are getting to such a point where they can be some of the traditional stuff that previously they couldn't have used, they couldn't have applied, now they will. And you're going to see some of it. I think you're going to see Chinese martial arts becoming more prominent in MMA in the next few years. That's
over karate!
Well, I mean, you had Machida and who brought karate into the MMA. I suspect we're going to see a lot more from China because China's a big place. There's a lot of really good fighters, a big martial art tradition. Unfortunately, in the last few years, there's been a de-emphasis of the fighting. It's all been about performance and showy stuff, and a lot of people don't really train the realistic fighting stuff so much anymore. So that's starting to change. I mean, it's coming back.
Yeah, definitely. I think martial arts has always been evolving, hasn't it? Really. So
exactly.
It's good. Yeah, no, it's good.
Exactly. So you can't get left behind. I mean, MMA is it's a fast evolving thing. So a lot of the teachers who kind of ignored it for a while, then they're going to find themselves behind the curve, I think. So you need to keep up with it.
Yeah, even like here, it's just evolved so much. Probably, I know when you was teaching there, it's a continual process, right?
Yeah, you have to. I think.
Yeah. But I guess that's what martial arts means, or Kung Fu means, is like continue learning and.
Yeah, I mean, it means different things to different people. So some people are really very much about preserving a tradition. And that means to some people you have to do it exactly the same as your teacher and your teacher's teacher. And but my teacher had a different idea. He said mobile phones get better every year, so your Kung Fu should get better every year. You wouldn't use an iPhone 1 now and try to run the modern apps on it. It wouldn't work. So you have to update. But the tradition is, even if you've got an iPhone 10 or 11, whatever, it's still the tradition, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, is a continuation of iPhone 1, but you're not literally trying to use an iPhone 1, right? So the thing, we're continuing the tradition of our teachers and teacher's teacher, but we're not trying to do it exactly the same. We're trying to take the lesson and build on it so that the thing continually develops.
So everything should be, that's how it should be. That's just my opinion anyway. It's,
Well, the testing will bear it out because, if you go in for competition, you quickly find out, don't you?
Yep. True.
So you can be an iPhone 1 enthusiast and say this thing's the best bread or whatever, but if you actually test it out, then you find out.
Yeah, the Nokia won't work. So is it the 2 courses you've done now? So you've got a lot of free stuff, haven't you, on YouTube, right?
If anyone wants to try out some Tai Chi free of charge, there's 50 free Tai Chi lessons, and I'm teaching the 8 posture routine. And the good thing about the 8 posture routine is it can be done in a very small space, so it's perfect for the kind of lockdown. Because some of the traditional Tai Chi forms they're choreographed to take quite a large area. So this routine you can do in you can do in your front room. So it's a good introduction, and it's got all the basic Tai Chi movements in there. So,
and is that on your? So what's your YouTube channel?
If you put Rising Crane YouTube, I think best thing actually is go on risingcrane.co.uk, my website, and there's links to the YouTube channel and everything. I've got lots of things linked on there. But I think if you put Rising Crane Tai Chi, it will pop up anyway. So. Yeah,
sure. And is that suitable for beginners as well?
The ones I've got on the YouTube free ones are absolutely. You start with the first one, and it starts absolutely from scratch.
Oh, brilliant! And is there like any ability or?
You don't need any age, any ability. It's such a cool group because we've got people from young, stressed out executives to retired, and I have students in their 80s, and so it's a big group. Anyone can do it. Obviously, you have to do it at your own level, your own ability, but it's scalable. So it's certainly not aimed at like MMA fighters or anything like that. But, some MMA fighters could find some useful nuggets in there.
So someone doing maybe a chance get on this video now. They don't know what martial arts is or what Tai Chi is. Like what's the benefits of someone doing Tai Chi then? And this could be for an MMA fighter, right, or anyone. So
yeah, it's going to be different for different people. So the first of all is that the key thing in Tai Chi is the movement is performed slowly, and it uses your intention, the consciousness guiding the movement. So it's like a mind-body coming together. And so the movement is done, you're trying to relax as much as possible and release as much tension. So the major benefits from the mental point of view, it's a form of meditation, help with your calm, relax, teach you how to stay calm under pressure. And in the physical aspect, because there's a lot of, it involves the whole body, every joint, and there's a lot of balancing and so on. So it's going to improve your coordination, your core stability, your balance. And because we sit in the stance. So when we do the movements, you're sitting down, which is equivalent. It's the same effect as like lifting weights, doing squats or something like that, because it puts the legs under pressure. So therefore you're going to get increase in leg strength, increase in bone density, and learning the sequence and the movements is also increasing cognitive ability. There's a lot of research about it it's been proven scientifically to have so many benefits in so many areas. So that's for kind of regular health. And then for people who are doing martial arts, there's a lot of, the movements have martial applications. So they're striking, kicking, takedowns and seizing techniques and so on. And although in the class that I'm teaching here is not aimed at fighters, but people who have done fighting can, oh, that's useful. Oh, I can use that. And they can maybe pick bits out of it. But mainly if they can learn to coordinate their body and use their whole body as a unit and relax and release tension, that's going to make everything they do more efficient, faster. Even it's ironic because it's practiced slowly, but what you're learning to do is release the brakes so that then when you want to move fast, you're loose, you're relaxed.
Yeah, well, it's the same movements like when you do judo. You're going slow anyway, right? Before you throw, slow, so until you build up to the actual thing. So it's the same principle.
It's the same principle. It shares a lot of principles with judo. I mean, judo means the gentle way. So it has the idea of softness and also has the idea of like borrowing somebody's strength. So if they're going that way, you help them. If they want to go back, you push. If they want to come forward, you pull. So you don't resist. But Tai Chi's maybe more is taken to an extreme. Sometimes becomes a bit of a caricature to some people. It looks so soft and so slow. It's like, how the heck can that be useful for martial art?
Yeah.
You have to practice both sides. You can't just practice one thing.
So yin and a yang, right?
Exactly. You got it.
And so you got those free classes just as a bit of a taster. And how does your like online course work for that? So it's a paid one, right? So
say again.
Is it the online? The other online is like for paid training, tuition.
Yeah. On my online academy, again, if you go on risingcrane.co.uk, you can link. There's a link to the online academy, and there's several courses. There's some free courses, so you can try out some Tai Chi and some Kung Fu. I teach a combination from the Tibetan White Crane style, which is like, I think it's 9 or 10 lessons. That's completely free, so you can try it out. And then there's also introductory level program, so it covers the whole of the first routine of the Tai Chi, and also the Kung Fu fundamentals. So you get the breakdown of the movements and slow motion, front view, back view. There's like MP3, there's PDF downloads. There's all the resources that you need to practice it. And then the main program, which is the online academy, that one is opened periodically so that people can join together. So it's more like being in a school than just buying a video. If you buy a video, obviously you don't have the support. Whereas when you join the online academy, you're part of the school, so that you'll have, as well as like the Facebook and the Zoom classes, and there's interaction. So I give corrections, and you're with a bunch of people that are learning the stuff at the same time. So they're all supporting each other. So it really is more like joining a school. And the beautiful thing about that is I'm not limited, although at the moment I am because I'm here, but in the future that will be, how to, I can bring the lessons from China or, wherever I happen to be and wherever I'm teaching. So the students will get to see different countries, different cultures, and can learn martial arts together like that.
Do you know what? I sent a little chill down here. It just always sounded amazing, but you explained it there. And I don't know if you just said it, but it's a waiting list at the moment, isn't it?
It's a waiting list, right? because I want to start everyone at the same time. If people just join at any time, I can't give the proper commitment. I want to say, right, students are committed to joining my academy, I want to commit my time to them and really help them and bring them along. So we have like specific enrollment dates where we bring the group together. But if people check it out on the website, they can see all about how it works, and they can put their name down, and then the next enrollment, you'll be on the waiting list. So the next enrollment, you'll be able to join in.
Right. And let's say you're doing martial arts somewhere else, is it going to conflict with that? Do you think it could be a good add-on? So I kind of feel like it is, but
certainly, whatever you're doing. I mean, complementary. Yeah, it's an individual thing. So because it's interactive, I would encourage people to contact me, and I can help them to integrate it. Like if they're doing something else and they say, how can Tai Chi fit in with that? Or how can Kung Fu fit in that? Or maybe I already do traditional Kung Fu, and how could I say do a combat sport like MMA? Or how can I take it up to a self-defense or whatever, I will tailor the lessons to the individual. So it really is, it's not just say apply this video, it's like it's becoming a part of the academy, so they will get one-to-one, they'll get feedback, and I will help them with whatever they've done before, how to integrate it.
I love that. I love how you said it as well, and you're working with them using your knowledge, and it's, again, even though you got that tradition, but obviously of course you got that experience of working it, whether it be MMA and Kung Fu, and obviously those different principles and all the other knowledge you picked up.
I think the truth is that the highest levels, they're really all the same. I mean, I've been lucky to train with like really high level, like world champion Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu and wrestlers and MMA in Thailand, and stick fighters, and all these people, and all the really, really top guys that I spoke with, they could all be speaking the same language. They all say the same kind of stuff. They talk about how to relax, how to use your body power, how to use your mind. And you see that really they all converge. So it's why it's really important is to focus on the principles, the key principles behind what you do. People focus so much on the least important stuff.
Yeah.
Right? They get totally obsessed with stuff that's like, oh, how many steps forward, or exactly where should this be? And it's like, it's not important, right? You've got to look at what's the principle behind it, what makes it work, how can we make it more efficient, how can we make it better, how can you make it fit you, and then the principles of human movement and balance and so on is going to be the same everywhere in the world. Okay, culturally, martial arts are different.
Yeah.
And they have different, one culture might, for example, say that, grappling is bad, like in Thailand. Culturally, grappling is low class, but kicking someone in the head is absolutely fine. British culture, like kicking was really bad, but punching is fine. And then if you go to Brazil, I'll go from there.
All right, guys. Sorry, we had a technical hitch, but we're back. So, David, you got up to talking about the cultural differences, and I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I was giving that as an example how they consider grappling to be very culturally acceptable, and it's fine, whereas kicking someone in the face is like frowned upon. So it's exactly the opposite of Thailand. Thailand have the sport of kings being striking, but grappling. So again, there's a kind of a cultural bias towards certain kinds of techniques. But in terms of the physical martial arts themselves, there is only striking, as in striking, kicking, wrestling, and grappling. That's it. So which particular culture might determine which is emphasized. But when you take a sport like MMA, where they can use all four of those things, then it will gradually evolve towards what's the most practical or the most functional, at least from the perspective of one-on-one combat in that kind of an arena. So as I was saying, then you were saying about what people can benefit from martial arts. So technique-wise, there's going to be a lot of similarities. So the correct way of doing an armbar in jiu-jitsu is going to be based on leverage and how you're controlling the person and so on. And so all martial arts, if they train to a deep level, are going to come to the same understandings. Yeah. So I think there's more similarities than differences.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome, mate. So next intake is September.
Will be in September.
Yeah.
So if people want to put their name down for that, and I have two groups. I have a beginner and advanced group. So beginner group, I take them from the fundamentals, either Tai Chi or Kung Fu. We start with the basic movement stances and hand techniques and so on, and put them together. And then my advanced students is an ongoing course. I'm gradually putting more and more of the system onto the online academy, so people can eventually learn complete system. That would be like several years of study, and then we'll be adding to it every week continuously.
No, awesome. Wow, listen, great talking to you as always. I'm so excited for what you're doing.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you get off. And
yeah, I mean, this time has proved the last 6 weeks that I've been based here, but we've been getting a lot of feedback from the students and gradually improving the academy. So I've been watching people, they're sending me videos of their practice, so I can see what people are learning online and what they need some more help with. So it's like a two-way thing. It's proven to me that you definitely can learn online. Obviously, if people want to be for fighting or for combat sport, then they need a sparring partner. You can't just only solo train. But for a lot of the development and a lot of the practice, the health, the fitness, a lot of the benefits, you can learn a lot just solo. As long as you have someone to give you feedback, corrections, a good method, a good system, and you follow it, you can absolutely get good results.
Yeah, well, I know they're in good hands, so yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. So just a reminder, you can get the free YouTube videos from, was it risingcrane?
Yeah, risingcrane.co.uk or risingcrane.com. It will get you to the same place.
Yeah, and from there, if they want to obviously proceed, obviously, which makes total sense that they get on your actual tuition course, because you're going to get so much more. I mean, if you're like 50, crying out loud, like 50 videos that you've done for free, the content in there I know is amazing. So I know you're gonna, I know already it's leveled up massively just for that course as well. So
thank you. I'm looking forward to helping more people. And if anyone has any questions about it, you can message me on the website and I will reply.
And you're regular doing, like, you're doing more, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, so you've been doing a lot of Q&A as well, haven't you? About not quite regular ones. So yeah.
I do them every week for my academy members. I do any questions they have in their training, they can send me a video and I will give them corrections and feedback and so on. But also I've done several ones on Facebook and YouTube as well, and I'll do them every so often. But in the meantime, if anyone has any questions, welcome to drop me an email.
Yeah, wicked. All right, well, enjoy the rest of however long you got left there. So
thank you.
So hopefully your son's coming to help do some training soon, right? So
yeah, he'll be joining me and we'll be filming all the paired training and the applications and that kind of stuff. So which I can't do alone. So but thanks for having me on the show again, Matt. Appreciate it.
Pleasure every single time. So and I look forward to catching up with you properly as well. So
absolutely.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Stay safe, and drop some comments below. Any questions you have for David, and of course, go and check out his his online site and get on board. Definitely, you won't regret it for sure. All right, stay safe, everyone. Bye bye.